is my honor now to introduce the man who wrote, produced, directed, designed, edited, created the special effects, the sound effects, and wrote the music for the film you just saw. He is an artist that lives in the very DNA of AFI. He is a graduate of the AFI Conservatory, then called the AFI Center for Advanced Film Studies, the class of 1970. The center was located at the old Doheny Mansion in Beverly Hills, where some of Eraserhead was filmed. He was just giving me the details about that. Maybe we can talk about that later. Today we're honored to have him here as the AFI Fest's first guest artistic director. And for this 24th annual event, he selected 5 films to screen. Ingmar Bergman's Hour of the Wolf, Stanley Kubrick's Lolita, Jacques Tati's Mon Oncle, Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, and the film you're about to see, Billy Wilder's Sunset Boulevard. He also created the festival's official artwork this year. I know you've seen it. I won't try to describe it because words don't do it justice. And that is part of his gift, that words don't do justice. For in the 40 years that span his time at the AFI to this moment here today, we have been immersed so many times in his stories and his dreams. They've given us images that are part of our collective and our cultural consciousness. A severed ear covered in ants. A beautiful girl lying on a riverbank, wrapped in plastic, dead. A man demanding, "I am not an animal." An unusual blue key. A red curtain. A dashed yellow line lit only by your headlights, and your car is traveling at an impossible speed. An older man driving across country on a lawnmower. A dancing dwarf. The entire movie you just saw. It will never leave you. It will never leave you. And because few in our world have given us their dreams and have had them leave such an indelible mark in our lives. And at the same time, encouraged us, inspired us to consider our own dreams and to live there for a little while. That's the gift. That he went to the AFI and that he continues to support the Institute is a dream come true for an organization that trains the next generation of filmmakers and also honors the masters. And a master he is. Ladies and gentlemen, David Lynch.
It's good to be here with you tonight for AFI Fest 2010, and you are about to see a great film. They want me to try to answer 3 questions before you get to see that film. So Bob is going to ask me these questions now. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. We're going to do things a little differently. Why would we not do them differently? These are from Twitter. From around the world. They've given me 6, you said 3. I bet in a minute he's going to tell me what the question is. Ready? Now, Mr. Lynch, this from Awful Suspicious. What's the most beautiful sound you've ever heard?
Well, I would say I love the sound of wind. I worked with Alan Splett, a great sound man, and on an island off Scotland, Alan recorded a wind one day, and I use this wind a lot. It's very, very, very beautiful, a moaning wind. I also like the sound of silence.
Mr. Lynch, that's from an unintelligible name. What do you think about the current 3D film phenomenon?
I say beautiful. Every medium, I say, is infinitely deep, and every medium talks to us. I don't know that much about 3D film, but I think through experimentation, I start getting a dialogue with this. It's its own sort of form. I think a lot of the people that are doing 3D are doing it because they want to get people back in the theaters. And so that's maybe not the best reason to go into 3D, but it might be the biggest reason right now.
This from Galaxian Punk.
My neighbors.
I understand you get many ideas when meditating. And has a dream ever provided inspiration for a painting or a film?
Nighttime dreams, I say, have never really given me ideas, specific ideas, but I love this thing of dream logic, the way dreams go. And I always say cinema can say that dream logic. The language of cinema is so beautiful. One time on Blue Velvet, I had the script almost complete, but it wasn't complete, and it was certain very key things were needed, and I needed ideas. And I walked in on this day to an office for a meeting in a studio. I don't remember why I was there. And in the outer room was the secretary, and she asked me if I wanted a cup of coffee and to sit down, because I couldn't go in right away for this meeting. And I said, sure. I sat down and immediately remembered the night before I'd had a dream. And it all was coming back to me, and I jumped and I asked her, please, do you have a piece of paper and a pencil? And she saw the urgency in my face. And she got that right away. I wrote down these things, and that was the completion of the script for Blue Velvet.
That's 3. Well, one more?
Sure thing.
Why not?
Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
What is the biggest change in cinematography in the last 40 years for you?
Digital. This thing of celluloid is just extremely, extremely beautiful. But this celluloid is kind of like, I say, a dinosaur now. And digital is the new way. Digital is getting better and better. It's lighter weight. You see what you're going to get right away, and you don't have to go to the lab. It doesn't get dirty, it doesn't tear, it doesn't get watermarks. It's, and there's so many things you can do to it after you've shot it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, a big, big change. The price has come down on cameras, meaning more and more people can make films and live in that world. So I think that's a big, big change.
One more. And maybe, well, I'll ask the question and then maybe we could tie it. It ties quite beautifully into the film they're about to see. What elements of film as a medium are most important to you in creating an immersive sense of place?
I always say the same thing. Every element is critical. And we get these ideas, and sometimes we fall in love with an idea, and the idea tells us everything. The idea is like, even if it comes in fragments, it's like a TV showing a fragment of a scene, or a fragment of a character, or a fragment of a mood. And you get all these fragments together into a script, and then you follow that, but you don't walk away from any element until it feels correct. So all the elements are so critical. And this film, Sunset Boulevard, I always say, you know, Billy Wilder, he's a great, great director. And one of the things he does so well is make a sense of place. A place and a world that when you're in it, it's so complete and so beautiful. His film, The Apartment, was that way for me. This film, Sunset Boulevard, is one of my all-time favorite films. It's about our town, and it's at a time when the golden age of cinema was really over, but it still holds this so beautifully in this film. And so every element is correct, and every element in this film is beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Ladies
Thank
and
you all
gentlemen,
very, very much.